Hello there. This is Ollie from the future, and I just wanted to point out that I actually recorded this video a bit of a hot second ago, and I actually had it almost entirely edited and almost completely ready to go out into the world. But then what actually happened was I actually got pretty burnt out from my last semester of art in college. I just kind of got to the point where I was just working on stuff so often, drawing things so often, just every day, sitting at my desk working on stuff, especially during the quarantine, that I just needed to take a break and regain my motivation to work on things. But either way, I think I'm back to the point now where I'm wanting to keep moving forward. Anyway, so I think we're pretty much caught up now. Let's just get into the video. Why, hello there, you lovely people of the internet. My name is Ollie, or the Seer Mystify, as I have decided to call myself. And we are living in some strange times recently, and it's a subject matter that supposedly, as someone who is currently making a YouTube video, I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I still feel that it is yet another opportunity for us to find ways to express ourselves, to explore our own creativity, and that is what I have done and what I am here to show you today. So as you can see, I've got myself a little more together today. Put some makeup on, threw a wig on, put some actual clothes on, and that means you're going to be seeing a little bit more of me today because I'm going to be modeling something for you. That's because today I have made myself a custom hand-painted face mask. And so without further ado, and with all that out of the way, let's get into it. So to start off, I'll tell you what colors I'm going to use, which includes a white, a warm blue, a cool blue, a cool yellow, another cool blue because I messed up, a black, and a cool red. So I do want to talk about why I use these colors specifically, but before I do that, I do want to address something that I've seen in YouTube comments of other people who have done this sort of project, saying that if you decorate these types of masks, they will no longer be usable, or they will be ruined somehow. And I have tried to do some amount of research into this before I started this project, and I wasn't really able to find out much information. Then again, I don't know that the idea of painting masks is, I don't know, maybe it's a kind of an odd idea, but I don't think that painting this mask will actually make it unusable. For one thing, because this mask wasn't for medical use to begin with. I'm assuming that it is better than the homemade fabric masks that people are making, but that doesn't mean that it's actually able to protect much for this issue anyway. And then also, this isn't a mask where you are breathing through the material. The air actually passes through the filter that you can see in the front there, and so I don't think covering the material will really affect how it's used too much. But if anybody has any more information on this, or if you have a source that could tell me why it is that painting a mask or coloring on a mask or doing something of that nature makes it less effective, I would really appreciate knowing that. Alright, so now we're getting into it. I do want to talk fairly briefly about my color choices and color mixing and that sort of deal here, but I do want to not get too far into it because I would like to make a separate video on that topic. So for this project, I am doing a mostly cool gradient. I am starting with a kind of like a minty green, and I am ending with a pink. And I am approaching this a little bit differently than some people might, given what we are often taught about color mixing, because most of the time in, let's say, like elementary school, you learn the whole red and blue is purple, and yellow and blue is green. And we often assume that then just mixing any versions of, let's say, blue and yellow, and that will give you a green color, and that's all there is to it. Arguably, what I'd say is one of the most important lessons I've learned from art school is how to mix colors and have a bit more control over the outcome. So instead of just taking any shade of red and any shade of blue and mixing them together and hope that they come up with a purple, I am able to control it a little bit better and say that, let's say this shade of red that I have here is cooler and therefore is a little bit closer to blue on the color wheel. Therefore, if I mix them together, they're going to be able to give me a purple that is brighter and that is less muddy than if I were to choose a red that was closer to orange and was warmer, because orange and blue are much farther apart on the color wheel and therefore won't come up with something as nice. I have many more things to say about this topic, but please let me know if you're interested in hearing them in a full video. So as I am going to attempt to show you here, my next step was to take this, try it on in the mirror, and figure out where the corners of my eyes lined up with the top of the mask, as well as fit the metal piece to the shape of my nose, and you will be seeing why that is important here. And unfortunately, I do have trouble while I'm working on small details keeping this in frame, because I hold it closer to my eyes. My eyesight is actually quite bad, so unfortunately some of my working was a little cut off here. I do fix it at one point, but hopefully you're able to make out what I'm doing well enough. So as you can see, I am now working on my, I suppose, signature drips that I like to do. If you saw, I actually painted them on the wall that's right next to me currently in my art room, and I do have a video of that if you'd like to check it out. But this in particular is something that I've done on multiple occasions, where it's this cool pastel gradient and the black drips are on top of that. But even though I have done this design quite a few times, this instance was a particular challenge because this is a 3D object and I am trying to paint something that does kind of look a little bit 3D with, the reflections, though I do make them quite graphic looking. But also there's the fact that these drips are supposed to look like they are running downwards as if gravity is affecting them. And since, there is quite a curve here, I had to come up with a balance of making sure that if somebody was looking at me head on, it would look like they were moving down, but they also would follow the curve of the mask so that from the side, it would give a similar effect. It's kind of working with illusions, and it can be tricky while you're painting it because every angle that you hold it from could give you a different result. So most of the time I just had to hold it a bit farther away from me, paint very lightly to make sure that it was correct, and then go back in and make it a little bit more polished. So then after that, I had decided to add this little black heart to the filter area. It was kind of a bit of a last minute decision, but then after that, I moved on to replacing these straps. I do find it kind of surprising how many times in my life I have found myself trying to thread pieces of yarn through the hole in a needle, and the fact that I am somehow patient enough to sit there doing it multiple times, but that is what I did. These were just some colors I had picked out a while ago, and I thought they worked out pretty nicely, but once that's done, I'll get to do the final reveal, I suppose, and I did model it a little bit. Hopefully it's not too cringy or anything, but hopefully you enjoyed it, as I did have fun doing this. So there we have it. What do you think? It was pretty fun to make. I mean, it was, of course, you know, as you saw, I had some difficulties, but whenever you're painting something new, whenever you're working on a project that you've never done before, it's to be expected. So, yeah, I'd say that you can expect some more content from me coming soon. Which is good news because I am finally in my last week of the semester.
Yeah, no.
And so summer break is coming soon. So that means that I'm gonna have a lot more time for personal projects and I'm not going to be constantly flooded with assignments as I have been.
Oops.
So I've got a lot of plans and I'm hoping that, you know, I can get some more people on board to come check me out and see what I do. So please stick around for that if you want to. I'm not exactly sure what music I'm going to use yet, so I'll put it like somewhere on the screen what the information for the music I use is, because I always feel like credit is important and people deserve it. So there's that, and yeah, I hope you have a good day, a good night, a good life. Just have a good time. How about that? And I will see you when I see you.
If you enjoyed watching this video, I would really appreciate it if you press the like button below. If you like the other videos that I have done and you want to see more from me, please remember to subscribe. And if you are really interested in that color mixing video I mentioned, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you.